So we had a batch of songs that we you know, as usual, that we were kind of new stuff that we were toying around with, especially when we were on that tour.
And instantly my gears were turning in my brain, like, okay, it's time to write some new songs and have some experiences to write these songs. And so I started getting that going.
So Tom actually came down to my studio, and he set up his drums, and I set up my bass, and we decided to kind of arrange the drums and bass part to the song that Dan had.
Dan had a couple of ideas, and then we played along with it, the bass and drums and our headphones, and we worked out rhythm parts and recorded something. It was good.
Right away, Tom and I had this work ethic that it was pretty intense, pretty focused.
It was so much fun. I mean, like it was like one of the most connected feelings I've ever had as a drummer to a bass player, and just so intuitive and just felt right, you know.
This was the beginning of something that was going to really create the schedule of the band.
And then the following month of June, 2012, Richard came up to Baltimore, and we went to one of our favorite spaces called Eureka Birds, and we worked on a song called Georgia.
And I remember going over and over and over the song till him and I had this great arrangement together.
And we played this song over and over again.
We must have done it like 60 times because it was like all day.
I think I counted it was like 68, 69 times. Just playing, I mean, in one afternoon, just over and over again, like working on the drums and bass, just getting it tight. And it was, we explored every angle, you know, and then by the end of the day, we came up with this seasoned, like, rhythm track. It was, I mean, that was like, we developed and wrote these parts together, and that was a new chapter for the band, because a lot of these songs, up to that point, yeah, we're not in the same room. So this is a beginning of a huge transition, and I think musically for us, and how we operate now.
So they were demoing and sending me files back, and I was just so pleased with the results. And I was just like, wow, this is a whole nother journey in itself, getting ready to happen.
Dan moved to Savannah, Georgia, so we were close.
We moved out to Savannah, and there was a big move across the country. We drove.
Wow, we can actually at least be on the same coast. There's a possibility that we might actually be able to act like a band. So this was great.
And then we had this meeting, and we decided that we were going to get together every single month and to work on the next album and to work on our live show. But regardless, every single month we would get together 3 or 4 days or a week.
The perfect halfway point between Baltimore and Savannah is me. It is Raleigh, North Carolina. So we decided to meet at my place.
And so I would make trips out to North Carolina, and Tom would make trips out to North Carolina when he's living in Baltimore. And so we'd meet up, we rehearse, we demo, we practice, we play, we record, we scrap things, we bring it back in the mix. We're doing this every month, at least once a month.
Every time we met, great songs just started churning out. And we all were a little flabbergasted, because we realized, wow, there's some really cool things happening here.
So there's a lot of traveling, but there's a lot of good energy coming into this process, and we did this over a span of 2 years. Recording, practicing, and demoing, writing, and playing out, and having experiences.
That was a great way to keep in contact, keep the flow. We did some writing, recording, and we performed. And we continued this by rule every month.
Underneath this velvet sky of a pouring rain, you know how the whisper, the sound sustains. Underneath the sleepy trees, a day is born. Soldiers fighting for children I gotta get back to that place. So underneath the sun is where I wanna stay with you. Gotta get back to Georgia, land of milk and honey. Gotta get back to Georgia, no matter no money. I gotta get back to Georgia, where I wanna be. Oh, Georgia's got to be just you and me. Just you and me.
After a while, we had a collection of songs that we dwindled down, that we wanted to work on, that were well refined, and we decided to. We were talking about, let's do the third album.
We think we got a nice batch of music and songs that we've been demoing, and so we basically decided, okay, it's time to go in the studio. Let's get these tracks down while they're fresh, while they're solid, and the demos that we were bleeding over for the last 2 years. It's time to record them. I mean, it is time to record these songs.
So we gave ourselves a deadline that in October of 2013 we would actually commit to going back to the studio, the same studio that Calling You was recorded at. And we decided that, okay, well, these are going to be the songs. So it gave us quite a number of months to really hunker down on what we were going to do.
So, October 2013, we went into the studio.
And that's what we did. I mean, it ended up being very challenging. All three of us were pushing ourselves as usual, but we were really pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone, and we were pushing each other out of our comfort zone, which was huge. I think a lot of this album is going to reflects that.
So we finished up doing most of the tracking.
Yeah, so after Daniel got his vocals done, it was off to the next step, the mixing and everything.
You know, it's kind of been a whirlwind up until this point, after getting all of the recording done, and that took a weight off all of our shoulders.
To do it right with the right people, and we were kind of pretty much blown away at the success of this.
We were all just very happy with what came out of that.
Well, I'm taking my time, I'm losing
over 5 years later, this band continuing to grow, you know, people believe in what we're doing, and that's what keeps us going.
Leeward Fate is a brotherhood in and of itself, but around Leeward Fate is this energy and this structure that enables us to do what we do. So everything is a give and take, give and take, give and take. With every movement that Leeward Fate makes, we can take along a multitude of people that make that happen. Whether that be other bands, whether that be our better halves, whether that be our families, our friends, our fans, to people who want to support us, to even the open opportunities that seem to come our way. This is how it works with us. And we are very aware of that. And that's what gets us off. That's what keeps us going. And that's what makes it worth being in this industry. But more importantly, being able to connect and entertain and provide a service and give maybe a little bit more pleasure and love to the world. We can only humbly hope that.
To kiss you underneath the stars, stars in the sky. I just want you to call me your man, your one and only guy. Tell me it's alright when the day is done, like the morning sun. The night is ours. Ooh, the night is